I'm John Altshuler.
I'm Scott Bennett. We've known each other for almost 50 years.
We grew up together on the playground.
And now we're in the foreground and still growing up.
From the playground to the foreground.
Join the conversation. Hey, John. Glad to be back together. We're on the playground, but this is special because it's back to school week.
That's right.
So we hadn't seen each other. I think it's been a little longer than usual, but I noticed the night before that there was in a series of the posts that you like to put up. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes I just ignore them. But there was one of your son putting on a tie.
Oh boy.
Do you recall that post?
Totally.
So he goes to a public school. He was just putting on a tie on a first day because he means business? What was that?
Well, I think they have to do that for pictures.
Oh, they have first day pictures?
First day pictures. It's actually the first day before school.
Oh.
You show up for 45 minutes.
Oh, was that they had to do that for his student
yearbook.
ID? Oh, yearbook.
Maybe for the ID too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I saw he was putting on a tie, to which I commented, at least somebody in the family gets dressed properly to go to work.
He looked good.
Yeah, he did. He looked sharp. But thought it was just ironic that your son is better dressed for the day than you.
That's right.
So I thought it's been a little while, but I was driving in today. It's a nice sunny day, and you used to talk, I had my walk-up song, but it was my ride-in song. And today I happened to listen to a song called Down the Line. Familiar with that song?
I don't recall it.
Yeah, you would hear it.
High school?
It's a yacht rock song, kind of a 70s. No, it's way before our high school. But the band is Jerry Rafferty. That's the name of the band. It's the only song that anybody would ever know. It's a good song. I mean, people hear it. It's one of those ones that you hear. So I'm thinking to myself, I know you're not a big music guy. We talked about that. But you think about one-hit wonders, just anybody come to mind? There was one from our high school.
Vanilla Ice and Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli, Vanilla Ice. And our senior year, when we were really having that, or was it our senior year we were having the playoff run, the football playoff run? Bust a Move by Young
That was
MC.
a one-game run.
Yeah, I know, that's fine. But we had not had that run.
Right.
So Bust a Move by Young MC, that's a good song.
Wait, MC Hammer had a lot of songs.
Well, MC Hammer is different than Young MC.
Okay.
Both MC Hammer had a couple songs.
Yeah.
We agree. So, but Young MC had Bust a Move. Any other one-hit wonders that you think of? No?
Not really.
It's just funny because I think, we're living in this era. I know my kids and your kids, they'll hear a song and they'll name some band. And it's like, especially with the rappers, like they have one song you've heard of or two songs. And then there's somebody new. They're not putting out catalogs other than like a Taylor Swift, or it's unusual for them to be like a U2 or a
Why
Coldplay.
are all the songs shorter now?
Well, I think still for radio play, that's my instinct.
But radio play was even more pronounced, I think, when we were kids, right?
Right, but
they were longer songs.
Well, I think there was a limit to how long they would play. So certain bands they had to cut. If I happen to be watching the Billy Joel documentary. If you haven't watched it, it's spectacular. If you like Billy Joel, and I love Billy Joel, but they talk about some of his songs. They weren't fit for radio. They were too long. He played in a very different style. So I think that's what dictated. I don't know if I noticed that sometimes I just want them to be over. So I'm glad that they're short. I don't think the level of musicians today, I talk about this with some of my other friends, that the way with the electronic and computers, it's just not the same. Maybe that makes us old guys.
I agree it's not the same. That doesn't mean it's not as good.
Oh, yeah. I don't necessarily like all of it. I think there's some amazing musicians. I mean, and of course, country, living in Dallas, but country nationally, I would have never thought is like right now. It's never been hotter with Chris Stapleton.
Do you know who Avicii is?
Yeah.
So I went to his museum in Stockholm.
Huh.
Just completely amazing. I didn't realize
big
what a sensation he was.
Yes. You're up big.
But they showed kind of how he did the music and produced the music, and it's like, holy cow, this is amazing.
Oddly, I'm interested in that EDM. I mean, there's a place in Dallas actually that just opened the design district a few months ago called the Silo, I think. We're very old, so we're not going there. We should probably though. But it's really around that. I think Avicii plays a lot of those big concerts and festivals, because in Europe EDM is even bigger than here. So it is back to school week. We talked about your son, and our guest today, who we'll get to in just a minute, is going to be going back to school. I think it's, by the way, our first guest that still lives with their parents. I hope.
I think that's true. Like I'm playing it back in my head, and
go back.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't think Beasley. We know Beasley's got a house.
Beasley's not. Yeah.
I think Charlie's probably living. They all seem to be doing okay where they could have their own. They're grown up enough. But this guest, I think she could probably live alone. She's that talented, sensational. She could take care of herself, and we'll get to that. But before we do, I do want to get into show and tell.
Great.
And I brought something special for you. John, do you know what this is?
That's old school.
Yeah. No, it's not the one. I just had to improvise. It is an old school tin lunchbox.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a Ron Corning lunchbox. That's our
Sweet.
producer. Got to give a
Sweet.
shout out to Ron for getting today's show and tell. Yeah. Did you have a tin lunchbox?
I did.
Who was on your lunchbox?
NFL teams.
Did you get a new one every year?
No way.
No.
That's what, I was back at Target last night or 2 nights ago with my family and getting all the stuff that I'm certain we have in this immense supply. Like, why do we have to have more of all these things?
Oh, now you
no.
do?
Well, no. I mean, my family chooses to reload every year and everything, it seems like. But when I grew up, you got one and you ran through it.
Yeah, but nobody's bringing ones like this. They haven't thrown. We're not going back to this. Because I've been out
I was
of
just
that.
school supplies.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
general.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
Yeah.
I saw a tip about like just check what you got before you go out and like let's make sure let's get into school before we go buying everything.
Right.
Get out of the gate. But I did not. I was trying to recall if I ever did have a lunchbox. I was like hand-me-down bike, hand-me-down clothes. I'm pretty sure I did not want the hand-me-down lunchbox for my sisters. I was kind of a brown bag guy if I brought my lunch.
I became a brown bag guy.
Yeah. Yeah, because you didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't want to be.
I don't know what grade I shifted to that. I know in junior high, I certainly was brown.
Because you want to outgrow this, right?
You need to outgrow that. Yeah. Even like now, I'm a little nervous thinking you want me to carry that around or take it out of here.
No, but I did. I just was curious if you had one. I couldn't remember.
No, I had one.
I probably did have one in kindergarten when we met each other, but I think it's so great. And it's been a couple years since we've really had any back to school. And now that I've moved even away from kind of any school, that like it's definitely an elementary school. This particular week feels weird. Like I miss it a little bit. I mean, I said I wasn't going to miss it, but I miss that hustle and bustle. Even if it wasn't my own kids, like to see the buses going down the street, I'm not really seeing that. So I feel sort of like I know what's going on.
Wait, you saw buses going down the street?
Yeah. Well, when I used to live up north, the bus.
Oh, because you were pretty close to the.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on the bus route, but now it's sort of like I'm in, over by the trail. You don't really see that.
But who was taking the bus to Brentfield?
So Brentfield from the east side of Richardson buses in, not to Brentfield, to Park Hill.
Really?
Uh-huh. Starting in 7th grade in that neighborhood, they bus from the east side because there's overflow. They only have, they're not building new schools, and there's a lot. It's predominantly a Latino, Hispanic, because the east side of Richardson just doesn't have capacity, and of course they're closing schools too. So
yeah, well.
So anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to bring the lunchbox. It is going to be fun to talk to our guest today because I think she's probably geared up to go back to school. We'll ask her if she has a lunchbox for sure, but excited to talk to my friend Macy Gutow after the break. Would you like to be our guest?
Or is there someone you would like to see on the show?
DM us through social at Playground Foreground.
We look forward to hearing from you. Welcome
to the Playground, Macy Gutow.
Yay, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, welcome. And Macy, I'm going to give you a chance to tell everybody who you are, but it's a little special. You're our first young person, and by that I mean going to high school. So we'll talk a little bit about your back to school journey. But for me, it's really like a lot of generations because your grandfather and my father and mother, your grandparents and my parents are best of friends, and your dad and mom are dear, close friends. Your dad was the best man at my wedding. So to have you on the podcast and see you growing up all these years, and it's your senior year, really excited to be here. But tell everybody kind of who you are for everybody listening and watching, and just a little about you.
Yeah, so I'm Macy. I'm about to be a senior at Parish Episcopal School. I'm 17 years old. I do cheer. I play lacrosse during the spring. And I'm just enjoying these last couple moments before heading off to wherever I'm going in the future.
Well, we'll get into wherever you're going for sure, John. We like to talk about that, and it's John has one out of school, one still in, all over the map with kids, kind of in the throes of
and
that.
a senior.
Yes.
Yeah, senior this year too.
It's got to be a lot.
So we invited you here for a number of reasons. One, it's fun to talk to a young person. We talk a lot about on this podcast about education, our own kids, but it'll be fun to get your perspective on a few things. But specifically, I got to tell you how proud I am of you. And you can talk a little bit about this, but you started something and have gotten a little bit of press here locally called Gaga's Butterflies. So what is it?
So I created a nonprofit under Lemonade Society, and Lemonade Society is someone that I've been working with. It's a nonprofit as well that empowers girls, young girls in the Dallas Metroplex, and teach them about community service. So I've been a teen mentor for them and mentoring third and fourth graders for the past 2 years. And we go around and do projects once a month with the girls, and we find some organization or some nonprofit in Dallas, and we learn a little bit about them, and then we go and help them or make whatever kind of activities we're making for them. And we do a lot of presentations, and we just kind of teach them what it means to be a leader and how to go about community service in Dallas. So after doing that, I wanted to start something at the Legacy, which is where my grandma lived before she passed away in October of 2023. And my grandma was like super full of light. She was always decorating for my birthdays, decorating for any holiday, whether that was like Valentine's Day or Hanukkah or even Easter, even though we don't celebrate. She was just always in the mood to decorate for us. And I would walk out of my door every morning on my birthday, and I'd have streamers. It was like the birthday fairy came. And so she did this for her friends at the Legacy as well, and she would go out of her way to decorate their doors, even though she wasn't allowed to, and she wasn't allowed to put stickers on their doors, but she did that anyway. And she would do that for their birthdays, and it just made them feel so special. And I wanted to bring that to the Legacy after she passed away in honor of her, because I know that she would love that. And even though she was doing it, I wanted to just continue that. And so every month I have girls or any volunteers come to my house on Saturdays once a month, and we bake cookies and do posters and do handwritten note cards for them. And then that Sunday, we go to the Legacy and set up like a little booth and a table and talk to the residents and hang out with them and just celebrate that month of birthdays. It's really special.
Where's the Legacy?
There's 2 Legacies. There's one in Plano, and then there's one in Midtown. It's like right off of the Central Expressway on like Royal and
Manderville. There's a roundabout kind of at Manderville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's close to my
Yeah,
office.
Yes.
So obviously inspired by your grandmother, who I knew, and she was all those things. And she
Was that Craig's mom?
My mom.
is
Mom.
Marcy's
Okay.
mom, and both Marcy's mom and Marcy's dad, special people. Marcy's dad was a pharmacist, but I know these people, and you are the best embodiment of them. I was really inspired when I watched the story, and I mean, we have a relationship anyway, so it'd be easy just to love you at that. But to see you, and I know your brother and your sister, and we have kids, to take on the initiative, and you know, my daughter did something similar. We've talked about that when we were at dinner recently. What motivated you? I mean, here you were involved with nonprofit teaching and surrounded by other young women who you said want to be leaders. But tell me a little bit about, like, yes, I know what the inspiration was, but why this, and what so far, what have you learned?
I mean, I've always been part of community service. Even at Parish, they've taught us to do community service in middle school, and so that has kind of led me to wanting to help people. I've grown up going to Family Gateway, and even in elementary school, my mom would take me and a couple of my friends to go up there, and that was awesome. And like serving and doing things for others just always made me feel good. And so doing this at the Legacy and knowing some of those residents like wants me to keep on going and going back, even if it's not their birthdays. I'm always like, come back next month to see me, because it's just like so special to them. Yeah.
How many hours do you have to do at Parish?
We do 15 hours in high school, and then I don't remember what it is in middle school. I think maybe 5 or
Is it
10.
15 per year?
15 per year. So we go to school in trimesters, so we have to do 5 a trimester because we have 3.
So
Yeah.
you said the word have to. And that's one of the things I knew I was going to want to bring up, because I know there are these organizations, and I've had a hard stance on this. There's something for young men like YMSL, right, and NCL, like National Charity League. And
Yes.
when my girls were going through it, I had a big aversion to that. And I've come back around on it, which is there can be nothing wrong about doing things for others, but why do we need an organized sort of exclusive thing to go do it? So I'm just curious about your opinion, because here you are, you've kind of branched out. Do you do those things, or is this your thing? And you do other things, obviously. What are your thoughts about that kind of organized structure versus, hey, I'm just going to go do something at a nonprofit or a church or whatever?
I've had friends do NCL, and I mean, they love it, but I also think that going out of your way, like unplanned, and doing something for yourself is so much better than having to be organized at some sort of group. But at Parish, joined a club called PSLB, which is Parish Serves Leadership Board, and that was something that I've seen my sister do and her friends, and so I've also kind of had a perspective on like what my sister does, and I've kind of wanted to branch away from that and do stuff on my own and learn about other organizations. So that's how I got involved with Lemonade Society and then started Gaga's Butterflies. But I mean, I've just always kind of gone out of my way to serve for others and do other things that really make me feel
I don't think
good.
I did any of this when I was in high school. And like when I say have to, I think it's good that these schools are saying you must put in these number of hours. There's people who are probably naturally going to do it, like Macy.
Yeah.
But there's lots of kids that you
Wouldn't
need to
find
develop
it.
that muscle.
Yeah,
like that
no, and that's why
ability.
I've come around on it. But I know with one of my daughters they did, and then my younger daughter did something called Blankets for Better, very similar. We just homeless really touched her and Lee, and we had a way to source blankets, and we with a group of girls she organized, and she actually wrote her college essay about that. And Macy and I have talked about that because this is certainly something that a university, regardless, because I know the struggle, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but the struggle to sort of tell a story, like what stands out, and something like this is true leadership. So what's been the hardest thing about doing this?
I think the hardest thing has probably been trying to go to the other legacies or like other residents. I've kind of wanted to branch out to other places. And I have some family that lives in Austin who has wanted to bring Gaga's Butterflies to their local senior citizen home. And I think that's kind of been a struggle, is getting the word out. But I mean, I've definitely tried to figure out the ways and start social media and try to meet with local newspapers. So I'm definitely working up my way. But.
So for somebody that's watching or listening, and I said, Macy, you need help. What would you ask for right now if you needed one thing that would really help you? I mean, to be easy, there's a lot of things easy to say, but just curious what you might ask for.
I think one thing that I would ask for is for after I leave for college, or once I leave for college, is for someone to be able to take this and love it the way that I do and kind of explore Gaga's Butterflies maybe at a different residence home, or also keep it at the legacy but bring it to other places.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing with Lindsay, is that she wanted to keep it going, but we know how busy this year gets, and then when you go to college, it's really, you want to be focused on your studies and maybe come back to it. But I think it's
true with anything.
Yeah,
she's describing like a challenge in life.
Yeah,
like how do you keep something going in perpetuity?
Scale, momentum, all those things, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your senior year. Jon, you got that going on, so you guys share that in common. What's, first of all, for you, like what you said you've done this before, not a new rodeo, but anything specific or special about this particular senior year for your child?
You know, I'm not doing senior year; she's doing senior year.
But you're the parent of her.
I know, but I'm not. I don't do a lot of the. I'm not that involved with it. I don't want to go to all the events.
Yeah.
My parents weren't at all the events.
Yeah,
like,
mine either.
I'm like, hey, you go do what you want to do. I'm gonna do my life.
My parents didn't even know there were events.
I know. I hope she has a really successful application process.
Yeah.
You know, figures out where she wants to go, good applications, good result.
And is she excited about kind of all the things, the last homecoming, prom, dances? Is she excited about that stuff or not?
I don't sense that's something that she's real caught up in, but maybe.
Yeah. And what about you? What are you, first of all, excited about the senior year, and then we'll talk a little bit about college.
I'm excited for everything. We have so many things planned. I'm vice president with one of my best friends who's president of student body, and so we are trying to take this year to the next level and do a lot of fun things, and I'm really excited. We don't know our homecoming theme yet, so that's going to be fun to find out, which will be fun.
Who tells you the theme?
Our admin, like principals.
Oh. So they probably decided but haven't
So
told
they
you
know,
yet.
yeah. Well, we had a meeting like 2 days ago, and I was like, because I know it's down to two. It's either Under the Sea or Great Gatsby. And so seniors get to dress up as like one of the themes during homecoming.
That's penalizing.
You seem
I don't want to have to do that.
You seem uncomfortable with this, Jon.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Under
I'm
the
excited.
Sea. Under the Sea, by the way, is, I think.
What is Under the Sea?
Well, this tells me a little that you, not surprising, your pop culture knowledge. I think Under the Sea is the same theme that is in Back to the Future. I might be right. I have to check with our crack. Yeah, but Under the Sea is like a sea theme, like seahorses and fish.
Like I think we're gonna like, if it was that, it'd be like mermaids and
mermaids.
sailors or pirates. And
yeah. All right. Well, luckily for you, you're not invited.
I do like pirates.
Yeah. Right. Wow. That's unexpected. So what about your college application process? Are you in it? What's that like for you? I know some people paying attention probably have kids going through it. Your perspective on the process. First of all, what are you doing? And then what do you just think of it? Is it a good process, bad process? Should it be changed?
Well, Parrish kind of starts our application a little bit early. Like my junior year in May, like April and May, we wrote our Common App essay and we get graded for that.
Wait, is it last year's essay or is it always the same?
Like the Common App essay questions I think are always the same. So we do the same questions and we pick something and then we write about it and then we get graded on it, and then throughout the summer we can meet with the parish college counselors and go over the essay and rewrite it or switch it up or come up with new themes and ideas. So I think that maybe taking the time is super important during the summer. I know I've kind of spent a lot of time working on my essay, but I've also kind of lollygagged a little bit. And so I think that what's coming up is like getting the supplemental essays, which is for like UT. We need to write a separate essay for that. So I still have to write those.
I wonder, how does a Common App work? Like how many, I don't think my kids have ever done the Common App.
You're looking at me. We got an expert right here.
So the Common App, it's like a website, and that's where you submit all of your applications onto it. And you have to write a Common App essay, which is like 10 different subjects of questions, and it could range from, what do you like to do? I don't know. It's just so many different questions, and you pick one, and then you write an essay, and that's the one that you submit to every school that you apply to.
Yeah, so I think they've really standardized it. I mean, my girls went through it, but it's and some schools, more and more schools every year are doing it, because I think the process is daunting for a young person, right? Mm-hmm. It's, and I think what I would want to ask you is, I am probably biased because I know you, but there's criteria, right? So do you like the way that colleges are doing this? Like, and I think you have suggested UT, right? So that sounds like it's on your list of schools. Yes. Do you think it's fair that like somebody that's exceptional in the class ranking and all that baloney, right? That because they're not able to look at each individual kid. It's just simply too many people applying. Is there a better way?
I mean, I think the college application can be kind of tricky because some people could get into some schools and then some might not deserve it necessarily, but might have better grades. But someone might have wrote a really good essay that stands out about their character. And so I think that it can be a little bit hard, especially when you're going through it with all your friends, and like some people might want to apply to the same schools, and then drama or some just not fun stuff results in that. But I think that I have seen my brother and my sister go through this process, and so I'm kind of used to it by now, just like watching all the older people go through it, because I'm the youngest in my family and my extended family, so I've kind of seen everyone go through it.
I think college applications is one of the first times that a family gets really punched in the face.
Expand.
It's like you can think that your kid's like superstar, all performer, like getting all the accolades, and then all of a sudden you go into this bigger universe and realize really competitive.
Yeah. I think that's true, but I also think it's just so hard, and it's way more even than we were.
Everything's hard.
Yeah.
Everything's hard. Table stakes for life.
I understand.
I think.
But when I say hard, I just mean maybe in the future with AI and their ability to look and screen and take a better look at to pull somebody out. Like I just, the system is still tied to some of its archaic. When you get 90,000 applications, they're not taking a microscope to this young person who's doing this incredible thing that we're talking about. And yet, because, that is great on one side, but you got to have the criteria. And of course, we know that. And so I think it's really hard because they just don't have the resources to look at each kid individually as another school might. I mean, so kids are opting out not to apply to Ivy League and other schools because they know they're not going to get in, but it's even competitive there. So I agree, it's all hard, but I just think it would be better if they could take a close, if it made it easier for them to take a closer look at exceptional kids.
Did you test prep?
I am taking the ACT in September.
Like
First time?
Lots of practice or no?
Yeah, I've been taking it I haven't been taking the test, but I've been practicing since like junior of October.
I'm impressed that Parrish has you working as part of your school curriculum, working on your essays.
Yeah, I mean, they do it at just like our last final essay that we submit for English class, and that we get graded on it.
I just want to ask her, how do you identify?
No. Oh my gosh, we had to go this many episodes, but he's been wanting to ask this question.
Like,
well,
she, her?
Like just in general. Like how do you like? Because you do.
Yeah,
many
that's right.
things.
Go ahead. Go where you're going with it. I'm gonna pick you up. I got you, Macy, on this. I think for what John is asking, and I don't want to speak for John, is it's confusing as it might be for all of us because I've been recently telling people I want a little grace because we grew up in a different time. Your parents grew up in a different time. Bathrooms, it was pretty clear, at least we thought it was.
I'm not talking about bathrooms at all.
Really?
You guys are defaulting towards bathrooms. I'm just wondering, like, how do you identify? Like, how do you think about yourself? Like, I'm seeing someone who's got broad interest. And
Sorry for my political stance there.
I'm like,
Sorry, Macy.
I'm not talking about bathrooms.
I do a lot. I'm not very athletic, but I've been playing a lot of sports like my whole life, and I'm a cheerleader, which is a lot of fun at Parrish. I'm super excited for the football season because Friday night lights are so much fun. And then,
have you seen The Breakfast Club?
I don't think I have.
Okay, so you and Lindsay Bennett need to get together. We're gonna have a watching party. She said I've seen all the clips. I think maybe that's right. That movie sort of stereotypes.
I think
is that like, you know how each of the people, there was the jock, the prep. I mean, that's how they call each other, really. I mean, you know their names, but they have in our time, that's what you did at school. So what have you learned about yourself or found from yourself or potentially through this process discovered or something from your essay that you might share?
I think I've just learned to be super independent, especially throughout high school. I think I've learned how to like go out of my way to talk to my teachers and make my own dentist appointments or call the doctor. I've definitely learned how to do that because my mom doesn't know my schedule, and so she makes me call them. But that has definitely helped with my being independent and growing as a person like that.
John doesn't even call make his own doctor's appointments.
I mean, I like this. Like,
I know.
I like it a lot. I like what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's cut right out of that is exactly when people somebody asked me recently, what's going on in dad land? Like what's happening for me as a dad, which is weird. I was like, what are you asking? And, obviously I have a daughter that's now in the world and making her living and pays her own bills, right? Which is what a parent wants. And we hope that for you too. But I said, my answer to this question, and it forever will be, I'm very proud that my daughters are doing what they want to be doing and not what I want them to be doing, and that they're directed enough. And it's because they know how to do exactly what you said, make their own appointments. They got themselves. I never knew what my girls' grades were, and it's not because I wasn't an involved dad.
I know everybody's grades.
You do?
Hell yes.
Yeah. Are you worried that they aren't telling them, or you just want to know?
No, I'm like, hey man, this is a standard we have, and we're going to know your grades.
Yeah. It just never was an issue because my girls were doing this stuff, and I think that's where you are. That's because Macy and I are both third children, John. So
hey man, it's never been an issue in my place either, and everyone knows you better make good grades.
Yeah. So just quick, as you think about kind of what's ahead, what do you think you want to do professionally? Have you thought about it? I know it's that question people ask. And you don't.
I never asked that, by the way.
I'm curious because I've.
What do you want to do at 18?
It's a great question, and that's part of the reason I ask. I did want to be a doctor. My senior year at Pierce, I was in an internship program, and I worked at Parkland, and it was the reason I did not become a doctor because I worked in a very significant, very difficult spot, and I saw a baby that was born with a huge tumor, and I like my first week on this internship, and I had to like be moved. I was so emotional, and I couldn't, and so that's really what steered me away from being a doctor. But I'm just curious, anything jump out at you?
Well, I've liked the idea of being a nurse, and then I remember that I'm scared of shots and needles, so I don't really feel like that would be a good idea for me. But I mean, being a nurse sounds so fun, especially like a pediatrician nurse.
Yeah.
Because I love like babies are so cute.
Yeah. Well, I know that you're headed for a really good year, and it seems like you're so prepared. And I just wonder, it'll be fun to think about when you look back at the end of the year to sort of this period of time. You talked about your independence and your preparation, if it will measure up to what your expectation is. And I think John mentioned, this is a hard time, right? Because
I didn't say it was hard. You said it was hard. And I said everything's hard. Don't mention that.
He did say everything's hard.
Everything's hard. We all know that.
Everything's hard, but I think the emotional side of this, because you want things to be a certain way. You've prepared, obviously, and John marked on that. So
I don't think it's hard at all. Like, you're handling this perfectly. It's easy. It's easy for us.
Will you be happy with whatever the outcome is for your college? I mean, you know that no matter where you go, it's going to be great, right?
Yes, I do.
Great.
I'm excited.
To learn more about Gaga's butterflies, check out lemonadesociety.org.
Okay, so we're back, Macy, and I promised I would fact check for Jon the prom topic. So if you guys do get the Under the Sea, that is true. That Back to the Future, the movie that people love, that was the theme. Enchantment Under the Sea was
Good to
theirs.
know.
So good to know. And I didn't ask you, but in our intro, we were talking a little bit about lunch boxes. What do you bring for your lunch? Like, how does that roll? Do you buy lunch, bring lunch? Do you have a lunch pouch? What's your form factor for getting your lunch?
I eat lunch at school. We also have like a salad / panini maker,
Yeah.
so we can make like our own paninis.
You got a panini maker
And
at
you
your
just
school.
make like a grilled cheese if the food's
can
not
you
Wait,
bad.
imagine?
what does it cost?
I think it's in the tuition.
This is
with Parrot.
crazy to me about schools is that they don't list prices
Yeah, because
in the lunchroom.
I have no
because
idea.
mom and dad are just hitting the credit card, and they're not going to let their kid go hungry. Versus our kids that can get. I had a friend over in Fort Worth and at Western Hills told me that they've started just at that high school a nonprofit because kids don't even get one meal a day, and then we have this. So I struggle with this because 2-3 squares would be good for any kid, and but haves and have-nots. And my question for you that I did not ask is, do you think your experience in high school, if you could do it all over again, is there anything that you would do different?
I was thinking about this the other day, just kind of like reflecting, and honestly, I think I've had a great high school experience. I got to share 2 years with my sister, and I think that was really special because my sister never did like lacrosse, which is one of my big sports, but all of her friends did, and so all that bonding time with them was really amazing. So I really loved it.
It's a Warren Buffett answer.
All right.
I like it. It's like no regrets. Hey man,
Yeah,
I've
I
done my
agree.
best.
That's why I'm asking, because I think you really can't. So I saw somebody being interviewed and they're like, what would you have, it was a golfer, like, would you go back and change the shot? And the answer is no. I was dialed in at that, just didn't execute, right? Like I'm here now. Let's move forward. All right. Topics from the hat. I think you know how this goes. We're going to pull one out. We'll take a couple minutes and discuss it. No wrong answers. Macy, you're our guest. Pick first.
Okay. Scared. Best dessert.
Best dessert.
This could take a while because
You got a lot?
I love dessert. But I think my favorite dessert is chocolate lava cake. I'm a big chocolate girl. So I think that any chocolate lava cake.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. My favorite one is from a restaurant in Mexico when we went to Cabo with one of my friends. And the chocolate lava cake was insane.
You're still thinking about it.
Still thinking about it.
What about for you?
Key lime pie, Dallas Petroleum Club.
Oh, mine is bread pudding. I'm a big bread pudding guy. So,
Interesting.
and really, I'm kind of like you. Anywhere there's bread, if I see bread pudding on the menu, it's hard to. And I'm not a huge dessert guy, but I love bread pudding. Don't know why.
Bobby's at Preston and Royal has a really good like chocolate
Wait,
pie
what
pudding.
place?
Bobby's.
What's Bobby's?
Bobby's on the corner of Preston Royal. Bobby's Airline. The same people own. They own
El Braco.
El Braco.
Okay.
In Preston Center.
Yeah.
Okay, Jon, you're up.
Taylor Swift.
We got to talk about Taylor Swift. We were talking about it before we got on here. Big week for Taylor Swift. You probably
Big
know more than we
week.
do. Any thoughts about Taylor Swift? Like,
She's just insane. I think that like everything that she does is so cool, and she just like drops so many hints, and the Swiftie worlds, like all of her fans, come up with these crazy things and figure out everything that she's done in the past that would lead up to her new album or anything that she's releasing. Like this album that she just announced that she was releasing on the Kelsey Brothers podcast. The Swifties found everything that she dropped hints about this album
yeah.
before, like on her Instagram posts, the color of the dress she was wearing, like a door that she had in her concert, like her Eras tour concert. It was orange, which is the color of her new album.
She's a
a
master.
mastermind.
What do you think?
I just thought, I love the New Heights deal, right? And so I watched it on Instagram, just the reels, and they dropped like 1, 2, 3, and it was just so funny that first of all, you could tell, I didn't realize it was her first podcast ever.
Yeah.
She'd never done a podcast before. And then she's announcing the album, and I love the way Jason introduces her. And then at the very end, she's like, you guys appeal to male sports fans. And the one thing we all know male sports fans want more of is me on their screens. This is so funny.
So my opinion of her is like she's a mastermind, and I didn't totally love her music, but I have really come to appreciate she's an excellent artist. But my my take on this is, if Madonna were like, if you could extrap out Madonna to this time, she'd smoke her. I mean, Madonna did not have the resources. Yeah, Madonna was an amazing like figure and was like changing culture. Okay, but she did not have all of the podcasts and all the social media.
She's done one podcast, so the podcasts have not
I'm just
helped.
saying she did not have the resources to market the way like that, to control her platform. Madonna had no control. The record companies were heavy-handed. I'm just saying that's my I pound for pound. If Madonna had it, I think it'd be really fascinating to see.
It is impressive to Madonna's credit that she's been at this since like 1984.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty relevant.
I think Taylor Swift will be too.
Do you really?
So, yeah, I she's real talented and she really understands pop culture. And she got guys. I mean, she's big. She's big. She is big time. Okay. Private school education. Thoughts about it?
Is that what you said?
Yeah, private school education.
Oh.
That's my. You didn't know that was in there.
Because I said private school.
Okay, well, John and I were thinking alike. See, we don't check these. Look, the last two are the same. Look, John and I were on the same pace.
I wanted to make sure you didn't add education to mine. So I said private school for a reason.
Yeah, just the same. Yeah. But we are obviously now, after this many episodes, we're thinking alike, John.
That's right.
We're thinking alike. Good for us.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think? What are your thoughts on it?
I was thinking about this because I'm taking AP Art and we have to come up with like a sustained investigation, which is something that we focus our whole portfolio on for the whole year. And so my portfolio focus is education. Specifically, I struggle with like dyslexia, and I wanted to focus my art into that and kind of express it in that way. And I was thinking about doing like some projects between like public versus private, because I went to public school and elementary school up to 5th grade when I moved to Parrish. And so I've kind of been back and forth about this topic in my head because I have a lot of friends that also go to public school, but I can also see how like our education can be really different, especially with like the top 5%. If you are top 5% at a public school, then you are automatically into Texas. And so I've kind of struggled with like that concept of understanding it and being like, well, why can't the top 5% at public school also be able to, or private school be able to go to?
Is it not the case? You're saying there's
so.
not auto admit from Parrish?
I don't think so.
Because they don't rank, right? Is that why?
Right.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
they do it differently. So I think it's good and bad, and that's kind of why I was asking the question earlier. What about for you, private school? You put it in there.
And she brought it out a different viewpoint there. I hadn't really considered. I don't know. I like public school, but I admire private too.
Yeah. I think we're alike on that. I happened today to sit next to a guy at lunch who works at St. Mark's. He's half administrator, half in classroom, and he said he has a child at Hockaday, and so we were talking about it earlier. I just was explaining how proud I was both that I had gone to public school and my kids had, because yes, it's a very small few that can afford. Somebody was telling me the cost last night that their last kid is getting out and that they're getting a raise because they're not paying for it.
For private school?
Yes.
Through 12th grade?
Yes.
Wow.
And I continue to think it may not have even been available for me, for my kids to do that. But nonetheless, they are no worse for the wear. And I'm proud of that. Good. So I'm a big public school guy. But your answer has really got me to think, because you're able to do things so differently in a private school setting. You're able to take it on and do things that you wouldn't do in a public school just because there's too many kids, right? You're able to think a little differently, do a little differently. So that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, Macy, John, I think you had never met Macy before, right?
No.
But you know her dad.
Know your dad real well.
You're going to give him a good
friend
report
of
card,
mine.
aren't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
He's sharp.
Yeah. And Macy, I got to tell you, your grandparents, your grandmother, your grandfather, your other grandparents who are like an aunt and uncle to me, they'll be so proud of you. But what you reminded me today is your comment about independence, the importance at this early age to be an independent thinker, to be proud of your independence, and as a third child to have taken the lessons before you but make it your own. Really inspiring to me. So thanks for coming on the playground. We've loved having you.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.